Do you know that the measurement you use in making Ankara is not meant to be the same with the same fabric, the same client's measurements you will use in making a plain fabric? Now, let me explain what I mean. Have you observed that when you make Ankara for some clients or some customers, this trouser tends to tear off or wear off easily? Like it's tight on the crotch, they are not able to move freely. But whereas when you use the same measurements to make a plain fabric, the trouser seems to fit in perfectly and there is no need for adjustment or any tear. So in this video, I am going to explain to you in details why and what you should do to avoid that tearing. Now, if this sounds like what you want to learn, kindly watch the very end and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. The first thing we are going to talk on is about the crotch. The crotch measurement of your client for Ankara should not be the same with the crotch measurement of a plain fabric. What do I mean? For example, if your customer's hip is 44 for perfect measurement, that's 44 from the formula I gave us. I told us that for you to get a crotch, you need to divide the hip by 4 and then use the whole answer for the crotch. For example, 44 by 4 is 11. That means for a client that has a hip of 44, his crotch is 11, right? Now, I am not trying to tell you that in the same note that a client that had the same fabric and same measurement of hip of 44, if he brings Ankara, his hips will no longer be 44. Now, what should we do the hip, or what we going to do the crotch? Now, the hip measurement of Ankara fabric must be an inch or 2 inches bigger than the regular fabric measurement. So that means if you're making Ankara for a client, don't use the hip of the plain trouser fabric to make the Ankara. Reasons being that it tends to make the Ankara to be tight more than it should, because the nature of the fabric is not the same. Fabric natures has its own different hip and other parameter derivations. So if you have a client that hip is 44, for example, for plain fabric in Ankara, you can use 46 to make his hip measurement, and the crotch should not be 11. The crotch should drop by 1 inch. The crotch should be either 11.5 or 12. Now, this gives room for the fabric not to be having friction or colliding on the lap region, thereby making tear and wear easily experienced, or making the fabric to tear off when he wears it to climb a bike or make a fast movement or turn, and this will not really go well with your brand. So I will teach you in this video how you can start drafting a perfect Ankara trouser. So let's get down to the cutting proper. All right, so here we want to start the drafting. So in as much as this outfit is going to be kind of a baggy trouser for Ankara, but then I want to use it to explain to you what I mean by getting a different crotch and different hip measurements for your client. So here you are going to learn 2 things as we progress in this video. So you get your fabric and place this way, and of course you mark out your baseline, so which are the basic things by now I believe all of us must have known, right? But if this is your first time of watching my video, you are highly welcome. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So you mark out your baseline as shown. You also mark out your baseline this way as shown, right? So these are the things you must know how to do. After which you put extra 2 inches here. These 2 inches serves you for the hemming or folding of your trouser, and then you connect the line to these very points, And after this, now you get the length of your trouser. So here we have a length of 42. You mark 42 inches for my trouser length. You mark your waistline all through this way. So after this, now this particular person's trouser, his hips is 48 for a perfect trouser measurement, and the crotch I use for his measurement is 11.5 or 11. That is what I use in making his plain trouser. But on Ankara, I will no longer use 48 of hip. I will add extra 2 inches, that is 50. Now, reason is because I want the crotch to drop and the trouser to be a bit free. This does not mean that I am making it to be baggy. No. For a regular fitted Ankara trouser, don't use the same hip you use on the men plain trouser to make the Ankara. So here, you drop the crotch by extra 1 inch. Remember, I told us that the crotch I use in the plain trouser is 11 for this particular client. But here on the Ankara, I will use 12. You can as well go as far as using 11, use 12.5, right? So I will use 12 for my crotch dropping. Then on the hip circumference, I will use 50. Now this 50 is now 12.5 plus extra 2 inches. So this I just dropped the crotch and added the hip measurement. We give your customer that room, that freedom on the crotch. It will make the trouser not to tear off easily, and it will make it to last as well, right? So here on the waist region, the waist we have for my client is waist of 40. So you mark 10. Now add extra 1 inch to that. Then connect the 1 inch on the waist to the hip, actual hip measurement. It goes all through this way, right? And then you go ahead and come up by 2 inches for here. And then you use your hip curve or your armhole curve and connect accordingly. So now, like I said, the reason for showing you this video is for you to know that for you to achieve a perfect cutting and drafting, you should be flexible. Don't be stagnant with one particular measurement and then you keep on claiming that this measurement does not work or it did not fit your client. So for Ankara, whatever you are going to mark, come in here by 1.5, 1.5, and then mark your customer's ankle measurement. So the ankle I want to use for this particular outfit is 17, right? So that's the ankle I want to use, 17. Now this one I have your marked here is to give it some kind of fitting. Then raise it up to an extent this way. The measurements you have will give you whatever fitting you want, right? But just know that you need to drop some certain values. The crotch and the hip should be added in order to achieve a perfect fit. Then raise here as well, up, all through this way. So if you observe, I did not make use of my lap and my knee. I will explain to you as well the reason I did not make use of my lap and my knee. Then connect from here. You can use your hip curve as well. You can get your hip curve. So the essence of this ruler or set of curves is to make marking or drafting a whole lot easy for us, right? So connect all through this way. Carefully connect all through this way. So this is what we have for my native trouser. Then slope your waistline by 0.5 inch and then slope all through this way. And then you now go ahead and mark your pocket 2.5 inch this way and the depth to be 7.5 or 7. Still depends on your customer's measurement. So I will cut out this and then show you as well how to cut the bag panel. So now we have cut out the front panel. So the next you're going to cut now will be the back panel. So how then do we cut the back panel? It's just the same thing we did from the front panel, just to have an extension of it. So right here, you place it all through this way. Then you extend the line on the crotch to come this way, and then you add 2 inches all around, 2 inches all around, 2 inches all around. So this will follow suits the regular plain trouser pattern. So the back drafting does not have any much difference. It's just a continuation of everything. So here, if you decide to add back elastic on your back waistline, you are going to mark 3 inches here. If you want to add the regular belt and no rope or no elastic, use 1.5. So these 3 inches I am adding is to just give the back panel an elastic effect that will help drag everything, right? So here, let's use elastic. So just mark 3 inches. Now this elastic is just for the back panel. It's not for round of the waist elastic. So here you mark 2 inches as well. So you continue. So as you can see, this video is showing you a whole lot of knowledge in one clip. And if you derive value, or if you wish this video is good enough for you, don't forget to drop a comment, drop a like, and share for others to see and join us to learn a lot on this platform. So you join the crotch region here to the first 2 inches, to the second one, to the third one, and then to the last one. So once you are done with this, now bear in mind that you are meant to raise the back panel by at least 1.5 or 2 inches. So because of the fabric we have, the length of the trouser was already longer than long enough, so you might not have enough of the raising. So whatever you have left is what you're going to use. So here is 1.5. I will use this as my back raising, and then I will cut out the whole of the fabric as you can see right now. So just cut out from here, cut from here, all through this way. You cut from here as well. You cut from here as well. Cut all through this way. So once you have cut all of this, so the next thing you will do now is to assemble the components, and then you go ahead to cut your band and everything. So now there is an easier way to do this back elastic. If the fabric had been enough, we would have raised here by 4 inches, but since it's not enough, we are still going to maintain the same thing. So you can still decide to make here to be belt, elastic, or however. So bear in mind that if you have raised here by 4 inches, the raising will be equal with all the back waistline, right? So the raising will be both from here to this point by half 4 inches, so that you will now use it to fold the back waist elastic. So since we are not, the fabric is not enough, we are going to just join the back panel with a fabric, or better still, make it a belt and a belt trouser without the rope, right? So this is how you cut the back panel. So if you derive value from this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.